Love to see this type of video talking about mental health along with these Souls games. Would love to see you handle the topic of Seath The Scaleless because I know that dude has issues. Yeah, I could do that. What's going on, you guys? It's your Huggable Hipster here, and welcome back to the channel. God, I've missed you guys. I'm so sorry. I've been away. There's been a lot of life stuff that's been happening. There's just been work stuff that's been happening. A lot of just stuff has been happening. As a lot of you saw on Instagram and Blue Sky, and now here, I want to update you guys because my cat has been a part of this channel for a very long time. Like, as long as I've started and have had my YouTube channel, my cat Feather, he has been there through it all. My cat Feather passed away a few days ago, and he has been in my life since I was 19 years old. I'm 32 now, so 13 years of a life for a cat. That is a wonderful life. He got so many treats. He was so well loved. He was just an absolutely incredible pet. Thank you guys for your concerns, and thank you guys for the well wishes. It really means a lot. But welcome back to Soulsborne Academy. Don't mind the hunter in the corner. They're just here for your protection. And in today's episode of Soulsborne Academy, we're going to be going over Seath The Scaleless, which is a requested video. So thank you so much for requesting me to talk about Seath The Scaleless. Let's get into it. I'm really excited about it. Seath The Scaleless was born in imperfect beauty, selling out the dragon race for false promises and immortality. He was willing to sell out his own kind for Gwyn, the master of manipulation. The story of Seath is rather sad and filled with a lot of psychological torment. I mean, a dragon that does not get its own scales is kind of the outcast in the dragon community to a degree, but not in the way that you think. He wasn't an outcast because everyone was against him. He was an outcast all in his own head because he thought, well, no one's gonna want me if I don't have scales and I don't look like an actual dragon. He betrayed others out of feeling abandoned, alone. Whenever I first saw this dragon, I thought, oh, okay, his name is Seath The Scaleless. Is that like a name that he was given because he lacked courage? You know, Seath The Scaleless. It's almost like an insulting name, if you will. But it's one of those things of where when you look deeper into the lore, no, he was born that way. He was just born without scales. And I find that such an interesting twist that From Software did, because normally when you think of a dragon, you think of a dragon with scales that can breathe fire, that has all of just these stereotypical connotations with dragons, but this is a very different dragon. The betrayal of his own kind, the everlasting dragons, it was just the start of his absolute chaos. This guy was a mad genius. He was just the epitome of what a mad scientist is, but make it dragon. He brought about the extinction of his own people, his own kind, just out of bitterness and jealousy for the fact that he did not have the scales that they did. He also had this weird obsession and desire for immortality. Psychology of this dragon is absolutely fascinating as well, because you also have his paranoia of where he would lock himself away, thinking that, oh, people are going to steal my immortality, they're going to steal my crystals. After killing an entire race of dragons, Gwyn's over there looking at him like, wow, this guy's just as crazy as I am. I like him. And because of all of that, because of killing all the dragons, and because Gwyn absolutely adored Seath The Scaleless, he was then able to have his own grand library. He was able to conduct his own research, which would then turn into testing on young maidens, but we'll get to that. There's this underlying layer psychologically of a fear of death, not just across the entire game of all the Dark Souls series, but especially with Seath The Scaleless and his fear of dying. Now, with dragons, the stone scales of dragons are their source of immortality. So since Seath doesn't have any of those stone scales, he's very much of a human dragon, so to speak. Hence his reasoning for like, oh crap, I need to find a way to be immortal. I need to get on the same train that my fellow brethren dragons are at right now. This behavior, this jealousy is a very human behavior. This human behavior that is showcased is what leads to his downfall, and also the downfall of his own kind as well. Even though there is a dragon, a baby dragon laying in wait. We can get to that in another episode when if I can dive deeper, I will. But there is a baby dragon that is made out of all of this, that has the same DNA as the ancient dragons themselves. But I can get into that in another video. Now, this guy who was just a dragon genius, who was misguided and entirely jealous and greedy and power hungry, he went on to do experimentations, and those experimentations they didn't go so well. Just to, you know, put that out there. He experimented on women, especially young maidens, in hopes to bear a dragon child, to mold the DNA of a human being with a dragon, so they go right there down the middle, and it would cause a baby roar, a baby. Why did I just do that? It would cause a baby Aragon. Listen, this isn't Fourth Wing, okay? There is no golden dragons in this series that I know of, at least. Oh god, that's probably another boss I need to unlock. If you're wondering, Ariel, how much caffeine did you have today? Yes. One experiment, however, went awry. A maiden that Seath captured was already pregnant, unbeknownst to him. He didn't know anything. The people who captured her didn't know anything, and the DNA from the little baby who was human to the dragon DNA that was also inserted, they splooshed together and they created Priscilla. You can find her in the Painted World, which I didn't know this until I started researching it for this video, that Priscilla was born out of Seath's jealousy, bitterness towards his own dragon brethren, and this wanting to be able to create his own race of dragons. Seath is an incredibly selfish creature psychologically, and when we break his character down even further, we see that he is incredibly lonely. He is incredibly dependent on the fact that the things around him, the creatures that he created, are dependent on him and him alone. He always wanted to feel wanted, accepted. And there was this interesting comment that I found underneath one of the lore videos of Seath that I was watching to prep for this video. When a child is looking for warmth from a family, they will burn the village down in order to feel that warmth, to some degree. I know I'm probably butchering that saying right now, but it holds true for Seath, because all he was looking for was to belong. He was looking for comfort. He was looking for warmth. He was looking for a way to just exist and coexist with the dragons. But he went a little bit too mad scientist for everyone's taste, and I feel like when we see the first clip in Dark Souls in the intro cutscene, he kind of yells out to the air, to the stars, and he looks like he is grieving for the ones that he lost, but he kind of, I feel as if, and this is where my speculation comes in, of where he disassociates mentally and is like, okay, I have to push through this, and I just have to recreate the dragons entirely, but do it my own way, through this weird mad scientisty way of just doing it. And in the process, he created all these different creatures, all these different monstrosities that were once people, and that's where more of the corruption comes in. And that is just, I mean, even more so than what he was before. But Seath The Scaleless is absolutely a fascinating dragon character within the world of Dark Souls. I would love to see more mad scientist dragons in games, because that is a very underutilized character structure right there, a very underutilized one. I feel like we need more dragons that have personalities. Rebecca Yaros, please, can you write some dragons for games? I think everyone would appreciate and love that. Take away everything that's bad about this character and the way that he's treated young maidens, the way that he has killed off an entire race. Look at the dragon just aesthetically for a second. We have a scaleless dragon who also has albinism. That is just so cool. Like, can we just appreciate Seath in that moment for a second and see kind of the wonder and beauty that he is aesthetically. Like, whoever drew up, by the way, the design for the character, absolute genius, because I love that there was really some representation that was brought into Seath's character in a way that we've never really seen before with the dragons. Normally they have scales, they're just a stereotypical way of what we believe and what we see dragons to be, and I feel like that was such a different way to approach artistically a dragon, and I appreciate that. Dragons are by far my favorite mythological character, so whenever it comes to dragons, I am there. But you guys, that's it for today's episode of Soulsborne Academy. This is also going to be in the lore playlist as well, because I feel like we did touch on a lot of lore about Seath The Scaleless as well. So, but if you guys like my face and what I do, please be sure to subscribe and hit that bell down below. May you find your worth in the waking world, dear hunter, and I'll see you all in the next one. Umbasa.